as those drivers. Pre-race ceremonies here at Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Race fans, please rise as you are able to remove your hats as Chaplain Darrell Barker from Masters Men Racing provides tonight's invocation.
Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we once again are thankful for the opportunity to be here tonight and to race, do the things we love, and live in a country that makes these opportunities. Our Father, we thank you for all the people behind the scenes who have prepared to make this event happen. We thank you for the teams. We thank you for the drivers who have prepared to compete. Lord, we thank you for our country and all those who serve it in the military as well as our first responders. May you bless them and their families. And Father, we thank you especially for the gift of salvation through Jesus Christ, who gives us hope no matter what happens. And Father, tonight again, we ask your hand of safety on everyone as we celebrate a great evening of racing. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Darren. And now, here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Indianapolis opera performer Lindsay Moray.
Oh, say, can you sing by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets would go, their bodies bursting in air, give birth through the weight that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land where we fought, and the heart of the brave.
Pre-race ceremonies concluding trackside. We are one step closer to Friday night racing.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone launch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24-month experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well-qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid model of 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn, passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to mrn.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
In the whole pack, steaming for the line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform. Live on the NASCAR Racing Network, it's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Cool, boys. Let's execute. Have a good day.
Tonight, the T-Sport 200 from Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brought to you by Craftsman. Get more runtime and better performance with the battery-powered Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup. Learn more at craftsman.com. By Wendy's. Try Wendy's new Takis Fuego meal today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's while supplies last. Takis and Fuego are used under license. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
Closing in on the command of fire engines, but first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network is live at Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park for the T-Sport 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Time now to go trackside to get those most famous words in motorsports to get the race underway.
Say the most famous words in motorsports for tonight's T-Sport 200. Please welcome Race Goodman 4 Sales Manager Josh Phillips. Indianapolis! Who's going to race the T-Sport 200? Start your engine!
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series comes to life on the pit lane. Short track racing on a Friday night is next.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
The message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Starting 35th is Greg Van Alst from Anderson, Indiana. Starting 34th is Boston Oliver. The 33rd starter is Norm Benning. Jordan Anderson is starting 32nd, and Alan Waller qualified 31st.
Spencer Boyd will start from 30th. Dawson Sutton 29th. Tony Breidinger from 28th. Cody Dennison rolls off 27th. Frankie Muniz 26th. Matt Mills starts from the 25th position. Jack Wood goes 24th. Jason Alexander starting 23rd. Jake Garcia 22nd. And Stuart Friesen rolls off from 21st.
Starting in the 20th spot is Matt Crafton. Rajah Caruth will start 19th. Andres Perez de Lara will start 18th. Connor Mozak will go 17th. Corey Day is the 16th starter. Tanner Gray starts 15th. Brendan Queen will start 14th. Brent Cruz, who won the Liuna 150 in the ARCA Menard Series here just a few minutes ago, he'll start 13th. Ross Chastain will start 12th, and Lane Riggs starts 11th.
Now a look at the top 10, starting from 10th position, Caden Honeycutt. Luke Fenhouse will start from 9th. Grant Enfinger rolls off 8th. Tyler Ankrum starts from 7th. Daniel Hemrick goes from 6th position. The 5th starter, that is Ben Rhodes. Gio Ruggiero will start from 4th. Chandler Smith rolls off 3rd. He's won the last 2 short track races in this series. On the front row, Ty Majeski, the 2-time defending winner of this event, starting from 2nd. And on the pole, Corey Heim. A reminder that qualifying did not take place today because of weather issues in the area, so the field was set by the rule book.
This track is 0.686 miles around, a nice oval. 699 feet is the front straightaway. Once they go past the start-finish line, they'll set up for turns 1 and 2, and then on to the backstretch and into the view of our turn announcer from Marlboro, New Jersey, Tim Catalfamo.
Thank you very much, Alex Hayden. Good evening, everyone, here at the famous Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. A beautiful night for racing, and I will indeed pick those pickup trucks as they come out of turn number 2 and charge down that short back straightaway. When they get to turns 3 and 4, the corner is practically flat, just 7.5 degrees, the banking that the drivers will have to deal with tonight, and the groove will move around as we go throughout the course of this race. As a matter of fact, drivers with this worn-out surface and with tire wear being at a premium will be searching for grip and moving their lines around as they go throughout the course of this race. This also is a short track, which sometimes means some short tempers and some bent fenders will come into play. I'll cover all the action on top of the Thomas Binford Tower here in turn number 4.
All right, thank you, Tim. Right now the field is on the racetrack over in turns 3 and 4 behind the pace truck. Before we get underway, let's check in on pit road first with Jason Toy.
Kind of a mid-season break that they had for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's been 27 days since the last time these trucks were on track at Lime Rock up in Connecticut. And during that time period, a lot of drivers went out and ran other things. Stuart Friesen, he went out and won a couple of super modified races. He's making his 200th career start here tonight. He's locked into the playoffs. He's looking to improve his standing to get more points. But also Tyler Ankrum as well. He's looking to continue to add some more points for him. He is making his 150th consecutive start here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here tonight. Chris Wilner?
Yeah, a lot of short track flavor here at the short track at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. One of those drivers in part-time role is Luke Fenhouse. The driver out of Wausau, Wisconsin, of course, has won the Slinger Nationals, Cars Pro Late Model Championships. This year he returns to IRP, the first track that he has multiple starts at after a 7th place finish last year. It's another Thor Sport effort for this group that they hope to try to get the monkey off their back and get a win. Of course, they're chasing their teammate Ty Majeski as they start a little bit deeper in the field in the 9th position. But Luke Fenhouse, a confident young racer that when he gets these opportunities, he makes the most of them. Tonight could be another one of those at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Now, there are 2 drivers that are having to drop to the tail end of the field for the start of the race for unapproved adjustments earlier today. One of those is Frankie Muniz. The other is a driver making his 200th NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start and also celebrating a birthday today, and that's Stuart Friesen, who has to drop to the tail end of the field.
In fact, those milestones will be among the storylines that we will track here throughout the course of the evening. Ty Majeski talked about the fact he's won the last 2 races in this series here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Joins former champions Ron Hornaday Jr., who won back-to-back races here. Also Mike Skinner, a winner of back-to-back races here. Like those drivers, Ty Majeski, a series champion, but tonight he's got a chance to do something no driver's ever done. That's win 3 in a row here.
And he's going to have to do it against some stiff competition here in the 2025 edition of this race, the T-Sport 200. We expect the one-to-go signal when they get back around here to the start-finish line. Rich Keeter is the Craftsman Truck Series flag person. He stands atop the flag stand as he gives us the one-to-go, and we'll be set to go racing in 0.6 miles around this track, and it promises to be good. There's just something great about short track racing in Indianapolis and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
On a hot summer evening here in late July, 85 degrees, the ambient temperature. The feels-like temperature is 94, humidity 73%, and why not? It's that time of year. Action about to heat up on the racetrack as well. The field's just getting the signal one more lap, and we will put them under the green flag. Alex, I think box scores from this track are as deceiving as any. Even if a driver dominates and if the box score says a particular driver, led for 100 laps or more, it seems like a person never has time to catch his breath here.
No, because you're always in traffic. There's multiple lanes at these drivers' disposal, whether they want to run at the bottom. Heck, you can even go below the yellow line. There is no out-of-bounds racing here. If you want to go to the grass, by all means do it. It's not recommended, but you can go below the yellow line and run the apron. You can run the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth lane up against the bright white safer barrier. Pace truck hits the pit lane. We get set to go racing on a Friday night in Indy. And to call the start of the T-Sport 200 for the NASCAR Racing Network from Altamont, Illinois, here's Kurt Becker.
Here comes the field now off turn number 4. Corey Heim, who starts from the pole. He will start from the inside lane. He's got Ty Majeski to his right. Here's the green flag. It's in the air. We're underway in the T-Sport 200. They go charging to turn 1.
Corey Heim is the leader, but he has got a mirror full immediately of the Chandler Smith F-150. Smith will go to second. Ty Majeski's now been shuffled to third. Ben Rhodes is fourth, and Gio Ruggiero, the top 5 for the first time in turn 3.
Gio Ruggiero getting challenged not only on the inside, but the outside as well. Lap number 1 goes in the books. The 19th lap led here at IRP for Corey Heim as they go to turn 2.
And the battle is on now for second out of turn number 2. Here is the machine of Ty Majeski. He looked to the inside on Chandler Smith for a moment. Now he tucks in line and follows Smith back to the corner.
Chandler Smith very aggressive on the start of the race, but unable to keep pace with Corey Heim as they complete the second lap. He has already lost a couple of truck lengths to him as they go back to turn number 1.
A little bit further back, the troubles continue for Gio Ruggiero. He just got passed by Lane Riggs and Tyler Ankrum. So Ruggiero is continuing to slide backwards in these opening laps. Ben Rhodes has now driven around Lane Riggs. That is for 4th.
Gio Ruggiero looks to his left and sees Grant Enfinger's bright yellow and black truck appear. Enfinger trying to work his way closer to the top of the leaderboard. He's to the inside of Ruggiero as they go to turn 2.
Enfinger now slides right across the nose of Gio Ruggiero out of turn number 2. Ruggiero tries the crossover move, but he can't get to the inside because he's got Caden Honeycutt there. Honeycutt and Ruggiero battle wheel to wheel for that spot in the 4.
They go at it for the 8th position as they work up off of turn number 4. Grant Enfinger straight ahead in 7th, and Daniel Hemrick is closing in from behind in 10th.
Daniel Hemrick in his Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Silverado right on the back deck lid of Caden Honeycutt, who is still side by side with Gio Ruggiero. Give the advantage to Ruggiero into the corner, but here's Honeycutt fighting hard downstairs.
Truck just not handling for Gio Ruggiero, whether it's the bottom, the middle, or the top side of the racetrack, as Honeycutt now gets to his inside, gets the whole shot headed to turn 1, and Daniel Hemrick tries to follow suit.
Right now, Daniel Hemrick has got both lanes blocked. Caden Honeycutt and Gio Ruggiero remain side by side, and as a result, Hemrick is going to have to just be patient and follow both of these two drivers through 3 and 4.
Daniel Hemrick knows a thing or two about short track racing, a winner in this series earlier this year at Martinsville, Virginia. Now he's on the move from 10th as they go back to turn 1.
Here's Daniel Hemrick to the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 2. Gets a half a truck length out in front of Ruggiero. Ruggiero, though, fights back on the outside. Further up, battle is on for second. Here is Ty Majeski now going back after Chandler Smith.
Majeski desperate to get back to victory lane, which would be the first time here in 2025. Right now he's going to have to settle for 3rd for the moment.
And Majeski almost got the wall in the middle of the corner through turns 1 and 2. He's trying to use up all the racetrack and get around Chandler Smith. Those two F-150s still battling for the runner-up spot.
It is Chandler Smith with that 2nd position. He is about a half dozen truck lengths in the rears to race leader Corey Heim, and he's still trying to fend off Ty Majeski.
And not too far behind those two is the Lane Riggs truck. it's Chandler Smith second, Ty Majeski third, Riggs is fourth. Then you have to go about a half a straightaway further back to pick up the battle for fifth. That's where you find Ben Rhodes and Tyler Ankrum.
Those two trucks work all by themselves. Another 5 truck links behind them is Grant Enfinger. Enfinger being scored in the number 7 spot. Caden Honeycutt is back there in 8th, and he's got a challenge to his left elbow.
Caden Honeycutt cannot shake the machine of Daniel Hemrick. Both of those Silverados side by side for a moment out of turn number 2. That'll be Hemrick now tucking in line and following Caden Honeycutt through turns 3 and 4.
That is the battle for position number 8 as they come back off the corner. Ben Rhodes strong here early. He is running in the 6th position. He's had Grant Enfinger behind him and Caden Honeycutt and others.
Ben Rhodes right now has got to deal with Tyler Ankrum. Ankrum able to slide in front of Rhodes and take that spot away. Now here's Rhodes back on the attack. Drove it deep into the corner but couldn't get to the back bumper of Ankrum.
Not quite there. Meanwhile, the race leader, Corey Heim, in heavy traffic, goes all the way down and kicks up a little dust in turn 1.
Corey Heim went all the way down to the apron to get around the Norm Benny pickup truck, and it has now allowed Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski to close in. There is only 4 truck lengths separating the second place truck of Smith from the race leader, Corey Heim.
Ty Majeski is wanting to go. He gives a shot in the caboose to Chandler Smith, and Lane Riggs is part of this battle as well for runner-up.
This is a good 3-truck fight for that second spot. Chandler Smith has it. They're side by side behind him in his rearview mirror. Here's Lane Riggs in his Ford F-150. Taking it to the inside of Ty Majeski. They run side by side to 3.
Good hard racing, and that's what you get at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Lane Riggs is hooked up at the bottom of the track. He'll slide to the inside of Majeski, take that spot, now go to work on the tailgate of his teammate.
And Lane Riggs has got that truck, like you mentioned, Alex, working very well on the bottom part of the racetrack. Here is Riggs, halfway down the back straightaway, dialing up again the low lane in turn 3, closing in on Chandler Smith.
In this battle, you've got Chandler Smith. He's in the playoffs. You also have Lane Riggs. He's in the playoffs. Behind them, Ty Majeski, who's the driver on the bubble. They all go back to turn 2.
Here is Lane Riggs now changing it up in turn number 2. He goes up against the safer barrier, gets a nice run off of the corner, and is going to just about clear Chandler Smith going into turn 3. Again, this is the fight for second, happening behind the leader, Corey Heim.
I'm highly impressed with the truck of Lane Riggs. He's made passes on the inside lane. He just goes to the outside lane to make the pass now for second. Lane Riggs has got it rolling as he now tries to set his sights on the leader.
And that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge now for Lane Riggs as he has gotten free and clear of the Chandler Smith truck. It's about maybe 7 or 8 truck lengths that Lane Riggs has got to make up on Corey Heim.
That translates to about 1 second. As far as that deficit that Tim just described, we are early on here in stage 1. Corey Heim continues to show the way.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Lead battle shaping up. Lane Riggs closing ground quickly on Corey Heim from Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey NASCAR fans, would you like to win a brand new vehicle? Enter to win a Black Widow Chevy Silverado from Fox Factory Vehicles and help kids in our local racing communities. Donate just $25 to the NASCAR Foundation for your chance to win. 4-phase winners will also win a VIP experience to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 in Daytona.
We're underway in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona.
Visit NASCARFoundation.org/2025 car giveaway to enter.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Back with you at Indianapolis Raceway Park, where there's been a challenge and change, Alex, for the lead.
And Corey Heim was run down by Lane Riggs, and Lane Riggs opted to put it right up against the safer barrier all the way through turns 3 and 4 to take the top spot away from Corey Heim. He's put 2 truck links between himself and the nose of that Toyota of Heim. Behind them, however, they're still getting after it. Good, hard side-by-side racing for position number 3.
And this has been a good battle for third, Alex, for the last several laps. Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski have been locked at the hip practically from the start of this race. Chandler Smith has been able to hold off Ty Majeski so far, but Majeski keeps looking low in the corners.
Here he comes again. In fact, that's just where Majeski can be found at the bottom of turn number 4. Now lets the truck drift out wide, right up next to the safer barrier, and again angles lower back in turn 1.
The slower truck of Greg Van Alst dead ahead for these 2 drivers. Again, battling for third off of turn number 2. Racing down the backstretch, setting up for turn 3. There's Majeski in his F-150 going to the bottom part of the racetrack. Chandler Smith in the third groove.
Chandler Smith now trying to find some room to race to keep Ty Majeski behind him. Successful so far, but Tim, there's a lot of traffic on the horizon.
There is indeed. As a matter of fact, both these 2 drivers are going to have to navigate around the Boston Oliver Toyota Tundra. They'll pass him to the inside on the backstretch and set up again for turn 3.
That is Chandler Smith in third, and now Ty Majeski starts a run and makes it stick at the bottom of turn 4, and he slides back up in front of Chandler Smith. They almost make contact at the end of the front stretch. Here's Smith with the crossover move.
And I don't think Chandler Smith is all that happy with Ty Majeski right now. These drivers are racing like it's the last lap. Again, they are wheel to wheel going down the backstretch. Ty Majeski has the advantage going into turn 3, but here's Smith on the bottom part of the racetrack trying to draw even.
They have to be careful not to over-abuse those Goodyear Eagle tires. They've got a long way to go here. This opening stage is 60 laps in length. We've just clicked off lap 27. The fight is in turn 2.
There they come out of turn number 2. Give the third spot to Ty Majeski. He has now been able to drive away just a little bit from Chandler Smith. Corey Heim still holds down the second spot, trailing the leader, Lane Riggs, by about 8 truck lengths.
Let's check in on pit road with Jason Toy.
Kurt, one of the things Alice just talked about is conserving those tires, and as soon as Lane Riggs got out into the lead, he got the call back from the spotter up top, said, all right, let's maintain the pace, maintain the separation between him and Corey Heim behind him, and be able to save our tires. We still got quite a bit of run to go here in segment number 1. The leader trying to save and not push. How about in front of you, Chris?
Chandler Smith, who started in the top 5, currently runs in the 4th position. What a monster he's been lately on the short tracks. He won the last 2 at Bristol and North Wilkesboro Speedway. 5 straight top 10s dating back to 2022. That's an average finish of 5.4 on short tracks. I talked to Chandler before the race. They were not pleased in practice. They were like 16th on the practice sheet earlier this afternoon. They went to work. Crew Chief John Leonard completely changed the setup of this race car as much as they could, and currently fires off because they knew they were going to start up front, and he fired off really good. No major complaints, saying the rear end is a little bit loose, but Chandler Smith trying to continue his force on the short tracks to challenge Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, and Lane Riggs.
They're going to have to do something with Lane Riggs, because right now Riggs has the entire field covered.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Lane Riggs continues to show the way. Corey Heim is second. Ty Majeski is third. Chandler Smith fourth, and Tyler Ankrum rounds out the top 5. 26 laps to go here in stage number 1. From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR Live isn't just Tuesday nights. On Thursday, we go wide open with some of the sport's biggest legends.
Dover's so good that even concrete couldn't ruin it.
And some of NASCAR's rising stars.
I don't like getting drove in the back of, and I honestly don't like doing it, but you're not buddy-buddy with everybody, and I've had to learn that.
NASCAR Live Wide Open has you covered from the rookie class all the way to the Hall of Fame. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Six laps into tonight's T-Sport 200 here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And Kurt, when you have laps being put down after an abbreviated practice, you've got some drivers that are climbing the leaderboard, some drivers going the opposite direction.
Stuart Friesen, a great example. Alex, you talked about the fact he had to drop and start at the back of the field. He's already picked up 18 positions so far. That moves him up into 17th now on the running order. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Gio Ruggiero, he started near the front. He has lost 15 spots since the drop of the green flag. That means he's back in the 19th position.
So drivers climbing the leaderboard, some going the wrong way, but there is a potential pit stop on the horizon. If we stay under the green flag for the next 22 laps, we will have a caution flag at lap number 60 for the conclusion of stage 1. And Kurt, dare I say, championship points, if you finish in the top 10, are extremely valuable.
Those will be especially the case for Caden Honeycutt, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, the 3 drivers that are just above the cut line for the playoffs. The drivers below the cut line, like Jake Garcia, yes, every point counts, but Alex, I don't know about you, but if I'm one of the drivers below that cut line, with this being one of just 3 races remaining in the regular season, I really don't want to roll the dice and take a chance on points. I think I've got to get to victory lane and get it off the table.
Absolutely right about that. Another driver that's going the right direction on the leaderboard is Rajah Caruth. He started 19th. He's worked his way up to the 7th spot. For more on Rajah, here's Chris Wilner.
And Alex, that's another classic case of the fact that we did not have qualifying this afternoon at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. So Rajah didn't really know what they had underneath the hood and the chassis adjustments on his Chevrolet. But the Spire Motorsports driver, who's been really good on the short tracks, staged points in 3 the last 4 here at IRP, starting to march his way through the field. He's been quiet on the radio. The crew's just been relaying lap times, and you know when the driver's quiet, that means the truck is really good. So they were really happy with it, with the long run speed, as he currently drives well inside the top 10. Rajah Caruth on the march is one of those drivers that really wasn't happy in practice, but man, they made some adjustments before the race.
Trouble, turn number 1. One truck slides up, pounds the outside wall. That is the truck of Boston Oliver. Slid up the racetrack and bounced off the bright white safer barrier. He's been able to continue on, but now at a highly reduced rate of speed. Damage on the right side of that Columbia blue entry, and he'll take it to the pit lane. Kurt, we stay under the green flag.
And we just heard Chris Wilner reporting on the good news here early on for Rajah Caruth. Again, he is up to the 7th position. Gio Ruggiero, not so much. Jason, what's the story there?
Just checked in with Jeremy Donnelly, his crew chief. I said, what's going on? And all he can do was motion with both hands as if he's very, very loose. He cannot put the power back down. It is hurting him in every part of this racetrack. Massive adjustments coming up for him on their first pit stop.
That'll be taking place soon. We're down to 16 to go in the opening stage. Great race for the number 3 spot, headed to turn 3 between Chandler Smith and Corey Heim.
Chandler Smith to the inside of Corey Heim. Corey Heim has got Dawson Sutton blocking him. Give the 3rd spot to Smith.
Here they come back across the stripe. Heim is going to go all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack below the yellow line, slides back up to the middle lanes of turns 1 and 2. The battle continues.
And those two drivers of Chandler Smith and Corey Heim put Norm Benning in the middle, and somehow Smith was still able to hold on to the 3rd spot. Here is Corey Heim, though, going back after Smith out of 4.
While they battle and have close encounters, that enables Grant Enfinger to close in from behind. So Grant Enfinger wants to play in this sandbox for this ongoing fight for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Grant Enfinger running in that upper groove, this time out of turn number 2, looking ahead at the Corey Heim truck, who is struggling to get around the lap-down machine of Dawson Sutton. Sutton and Heim remain wheel to wheel. Here comes Enfinger closing down.
Enfinger won here 3 years ago. Last year, he led over 70 laps. He gets around this track well. He's on the charge in turn 1.
Here's Enfinger now to the bottom in turn number 2. Gets alongside the Dawson Sutton automobile, and they'll race side by side down the backstretch. Corey Heim has already gotten free and clear in the 4th spot. Chandler Smith has driven away from both of them in 3rd.
Corey Heim obviously has got a truck that will be in the playoffs. He's trying to win the regular season championship. He can do it tonight if he scores 46 points. He's being under attack right now from Grant Enfinger.
And Corey Heim just about had to crack the throttle and slam on the brakes as Grant Enfinger tried to slide right in front of him off of turn number 2. Now here's Heim to the right elbow of Enfinger in turn 3. They're side by side.
Grant Enfinger had the 4th position, kinda, sorta, on the backstretch, and then Heim began to rally back. Now Grant Enfinger completes the pass by the time they get back to turn 1.
And Corey Heim's Toyota Tundra right now is really loose. He came off of turn number 4 a lap or 2 ago with the right side of his truck completely sideways. He is just hanging on right now, trying to get to the end of this stage.
Yeah, he is. As he tries to apply the power, those rear Goodyear tires are just flat worn out, and he has to really give up some real estate to the competition on exit of the corners. So we're down to it with 10 to go here in the opening stage of the T-Sport 200. Lane Riggs shows the way. Ty Majeski 2nd. Chandler Smith is 3rd. That means, Kurt, top 3, all Ford F-150s.
That's the way they run with 51 laps complete, so just 9 laps to go here in the opening stage of the race. These stages go by quickly here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and maybe that's what makes it even more surprising that Lane Riggs, even negotiating the slower traffic as he works up through the back of the field, he has still built a lead of better than 3 full seconds back to Ty Majeski.
He's got a great handling truck as Lane Riggs continues to pick him up and put him down. There are only 18 trucks on the lead lap. Matt Crafton in 19th has gone a lap down. After starting 4th, Gio Ruggiero has fallen a lap down as well. So Lane Riggs, while his truck is great, others are desperate for new tires and chassis adjustments.
Still working with some 8 laps to go, just under 8 laps, now 7 remaining here in this opening stage of the T-Sport 200. Lane Riggs, he shot to the front back at lap 21. Corey Heim started from the pole, led the first 20 circuits here tonight, and then Lane Riggs went to the top of the leaderboard, and it has been all Lane Riggs ever since. Tim, it wasn't too deep into this race when you mentioned he had built an advantage of half a straightaway. That's 350 feet.
It is, Kurt, and it's just going to show you how impressive Lane Riggs' F-150 has been in this opening stage. To be honest with you, it's almost like he's just showing off right now. He can put his truck on the bottom and make passes. He can go to the middle, or he can go to the outside and dispose of anyone he's racing around effortlessly.
As they work their way, still under green. We have gone green from the initial drop of the flag today. 55 consecutive laps. There was a black flag issued just a bit earlier in the race for then driver Alan Waller. I say then driver because he came to pit lane. They had a driver change, and Josh Raum, a veteran from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, has climbed aboard that truck now, and he'll continue on to try to earn as many owner points as he possibly can.
That truck indeed belongs to the Raum Brothers Racing Organization, and that is a team that we have seen over the years that have given young aspiring drivers their chance to get some experience, to get some seat time. You mentioned Alan Waller. Some call him AJ, 22 years of age, from Floral City, Florida. But as you mentioned, Alex, he is now out of the truck. Josh Raum is behind the wheel. All the while, Scott Riggs, 3.1 seconds, his advantage over Ty Majeski. We've just got 3 laps to go here in the first stage.
Yeah, we do. Lane Riggs will exit the second corner, head for the backstretch into turn number 3. At the moment, he's got a little distance. He does not have to run down Luke Fenhaus to try to put him a lap down, unless he just so chooses to. Fenhaus is the last truck on the lead lap in the 18th spot. And Tim, he's some, 6-8 truck lengths in front of the race leader.
Yeah, that's about the gap between that Luke Fenhaus Ford F-150 and the race leader, Lane Riggs. To your point, though, Alex, Riggs does not have to push it here. He's got an extremely comfortable margin over second-place driver Ty Majeski right now.
Here comes Lane Riggs back onto the front straightaway. 1 lap to go here in the opening stage of the race. He's already back to turn 1.
Lane Riggs and his pickup makes his way through turn number 2, about 5 truck lengths behind Luke Fenhaus, who's the last driver on the lead lap. With no plans to pass him, Riggs dials up the low lane in turn 3.
Makes his way up off of turn number 4. Rich Keeter will put the green and white checkered flag in the air, and Lane Riggs will win stage number 1 in dominating fashion, leading 40 of the 60 laps run in the opening stage. Ty Majeski, he'll get valuable points and be in the 2nd spot. Chandler Smith will be 3rd. 4th will be Grant Enfinger. 5th, Corey Heim. Tyler Ankrum 6th. Rajah Caruth 7th. Corey Day 8th. Ben Rhodes 9th. And Tanner Gray 10th.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card within 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Pit stops will be coming up next from Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race up from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes on second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
Hi, folks. Kyle Petty here. I want to tell you about a place that's dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by making a donation today. Any amount will help kids attend camp for free. Help make a difference by visiting victoryjunction.org/donate.
Pit road remains closed for the moment here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in the midst of the T-Sport 200.
Lane Riggs wins the opening stage of the race. When he got his first win at Milwaukee a year or two ago, I remember signing off and congratulating him and being from, I said, Bahama, North Carolina. That was a long drive home to Illinois. Yeah. My phone lit up, and folks were saying, hey, it's actually pronounced Bahama. Have you been to Bahama, North Carolina?
I have been through Bahama, and that's about all you can do in Bahama because it's that small, and that's not really an exaggeration. It is a very tiny community where Lane Riggs and his dad, Scott Riggs, who ran in the NASCAR Cup Series, passed through there. It's not far from Rougemont, North Carolina, where the famed Orange County Speedway is, where the NASCAR Xfinity Series used to race there, northwest of Durham, North Carolina, geographically. But yeah, Bahama, North Carolina, spelled just like Bahama. It's one of a handful of small communities in North Carolina that is pronounced totally different than the way it's spelled. There's another one, if you looked at it, it is spelled Canito, but it's not pronounced that way. It's Canita if you're from the area. And if you say it any other way, you might end up with a wad of tobacco juice on the top of your shoes.
Well, I took comfort in two things. Number one, the late Barney Hall. He often said, you're going to make mistakes, but you will learn the lesson. That was the first thing. Number two, I thought, I'll bet Lane Riggs might win another race in the future. We can correct that.
Absolutely right about that. The green light is on at the entrance to pit road to drivers left over in turn number 3, meaning you can pit without penalty if you choose to. And indeed, Lane Riggs, the race leader, and it looks like all the lead lap trucks will make their way to pit lane as they funnel their way around the hook, as they say, in turns 3 and 4. We start our pit lane coverage with Chris Wilner.
Here comes Chandler Smith, who finished 3rd in the stage for Front Row Motorsports, said it was snappy on exit, and at the quarter mark my front tires were sliding. A significant air pressure adjustment, a little slow on the right rear tire as they bolt 4 Goodyear Eagles and pack it full of Sunoco fuel. Tyler Ankrum 2 up on the track bar for a tight race truck, and then a couple of Spire trucks from deep in the field inside the top 10. Corey Day as well as Raja Karuth getting air pressure adjustments. Jason Toy.
Further up towards the front of the pit road, Lane Riggs, the first to hit the mark. Lane, he gets 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. He loved the way they handled the race truck and how he continued to maintain, so no adjustments, just a little bit of air pressure. Grant Enfinger is in. Ty Majeski is in. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Also for Tyler Ankrum, he's way side by side with Chandler Smith as he works his way with Corey Day. A long, long pit stop for Corey Heim with 4 tires and Sunoco fuel.
In fact, Corey Heim will lose 4 positions as a result. He falls from 6th to 10th in the running order. Here's how they came off the pit lane. It was Lane Riggs first off, followed by Ty Majeski, then Raja Karuth, Tyler Ankrum, and Chandler Smith.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
We mentioned the fact Corey Heim lost 4 positions on pit road. Same situation for Grant Enfinger. He lost 4 spots. Ross Chastain, well, he lost the left front wheel on pit roads. Let's check in with Jason Toy.
Well, one of the big things for Ross Chastain and the trucks and the way they're set up here, you use a lot of thing called camber. It's kind of the way the tilt of the front tires to be able to help you on a short track. The biggest thing that you have here on this track is when you jack up that left side, the camber of the front end, of the left front of that race truck and that Goodyear Racing Eagle will bend from the top out. So it's a weird angle for the tire changer to make the adjustment, especially when you're trying to do it in about 14 seconds here, hitting 5 studs. But the angle of that tire could have contributed a little bit to getting the rest of those lugs on the studs there for that truck for Ross Chastain. Has brought it back down, has some damage left side, but we're at a short track. You don't need to worry about aero too much.
From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
At the Glen, the thrill isn't just on the track. It's in the heart of every fan. This August, a full-throttle festival comes to upstate New York. Camp under the stars, then witness the brightest stars of NASCAR battle for a crucial playoff spot. This is racing. This is the best weekend of your summer. This is the Glen. NASCAR weekend at Watkins Glen, August 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at theglen.com.
Hey NASCAR fans, would you like to win a brand new vehicle? Enter to win a Black Widow Chevy Silverado from Fox Factory Vehicles and help kids in our local racing communities. Donate just $25 to the NASCAR Foundation for your chance to win. 4-phase winners will also win a VIP experience to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 in Daytona.
We're underway in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona.
Visit NASCARFoundation.org/2025 car giveaway to enter.
We welcome you back to Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park as the sun continues to fade and a perfect Friday evening. The lights are on here. What a sunset we're being treated to with some of the crops just off the back straightaway, the big famed towers. If you've ever watched a race here on television or been here to this famed old oval track, you know about all the industrial towers right off the backstretch over off turn number 2. Got a perfect evening for NASCAR racing.
You spent your early childhood in Muncie, Indiana. How old would you have been, Alex, the first time you came to a race here at Raceway Park?
I was not old enough to remember it. I was that young. As a matter of fact, my first Indy 500, I was 6 months old, so they tell me. But yeah, I've been coming here for a long, long time, all through my childhood, not just here, but Anderson Speedway, over Winchester Speedway as well. Got an opportunity, thank you to my parents for introducing motorsports to me and being a part of it basically since I was born.
I know your father, Ed Hayden, he would take his camera and go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He would shoot pictures at the 500. Did he ever work at this venue?
Yeah, he did. Sure did. And we used to come out here. My older brother, my mom would be race fans while Dad worked. He worked for newspapers and outlets around the state of Indiana. So, yeah, it is part of it. It's always wonderful. Even though I live over on the coast of North Carolina now, it's wonderful. Always wonderful to be back home again in Indiana.
Well said. Here they come off turn number 4. The pace truck goes to pit road. We're ready to start stage 2 in the T-Sport 200. Looking for the green flag. The race leader, Lane Riggs, will restart from the outside lane. He's got Ty Majeski to his left. He's got Watch-Aong right behind him as they all go back to turn 1.
Lane Riggs on the top side of the racetrack. Downstairs is Ty Majeski. They race wheel to wheel for a moment out of turn number 2. Now up the corner, give the lead to Lane Riggs. Majeski goes to second. Rajah Caruth now makes his way to third.
He right on the bottom of the racetrack is Rajah trying to get a nose alongside the left rear quarter panel of Majeski. He fails in that attempt. That leaves the door wide open for a hard-charging Chandler Smith.
Chandler Smith will fill the gap to the inside of Rajah Caruth and the side-by-side fight for third out of turn number 2. Caruth up on the outside lane trying to pinch Chandler Smith down into the corner. Smith, though, has the advantage as they go to 4.
Smith to the inside in his Ford. Caruth, he bobbles off the corner. The truck gets sideways. By the time he gathers that Chevrolet back in, he falls back to 4th, and he's right now at the bottom of turn 2.
Caruth trying to go back after Chandler Smith in turn 2, but he's not going to be able to get alongside of Chandler Smith, who is now driven away. As Rajah Caruth checks his rearview mirror, he sees Tyler Ankrum, Tanner Gray, and Corey Heim all approaching quickly.
Yeah, they are, and they're trying to make their way up the leaderboard right now. Ankrum very racy in that orange and blue Liuna Chevrolet. He looks to the outside of Rajah off turn 2.
Here comes Tyler Ankrum looking ahead at Rajah Caruth. Caruth looks to be struggling coming off of the corners right now, and here comes Tyler Ankrum right to his back bumper in turn 3.
Here they come back off the corner. Tyler Ankrum pinned down to the bottom side of the racetrack in that 5th position, trying to close in on Rajah Caruth for 4th. At the same time, he's got to fend off Corey Heim.
And as that battle continues to flare up outside of the top 3 up front, you've got Ty Majeski, who is not allowing Lane Riggs to go out and hide in the lead. They're separated by just 2 truck lengths.
Both those drivers run the bottom of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4, where typically the preferred faster way is about the 3rd lane up. In turns 1 and 2, both go to that exact lane as they exit turn 2.
Lane Riggs and Ty Majeski mirroring each other right now as far as the lanes that they are taking. But it is still Riggs that is just a little bit quicker. He's added another truck length to his lead in turn 4.
Sun continues to drop across the horizon, straight out behind the main grandstand here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The lights are turned on. Friday night racing under the lights in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Lane Riggs, the leader, off turn 2.
Absolutely beautiful night for racing here at this historic racetrack. It's Lane Riggs by about 5 truck lengths now over Ty Majeski. Chandler Smith is 3rd, Rajah Caruth 4th, Tyler Ankrum and Corey Heim, the top 6.
7th right now is the truck of Corey Day. Running 8th is Grant Enfinger. Enfinger had a bad pit stop that gave up 4 positions on pit road back on lap 65. He's trying to rebound. Stuart Friesen on his 200th start, celebrating a birthday, is up to the number 9 position after starting at the back. And Kurt Tanner Gray rounds out the top 10.
Just talking about Stuart Friesen, there's a driver. He has had his share of struggles in this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's been a while since he's been able to get to this point in the regular season with there's 3 races to go. And guess what? He doesn't have to sweat it because he's in the playoffs. He got a win earlier this year. He's good to go.
Yeah, he is, and that is a huge sigh of relief because Chris Wilner, back at Rockingham when we got swept up in a crash, he basically said on the NASCAR Racing Network air that he didn't know if he was fit to continue to race here. Didn't think he deserved to be here anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. Actually, I was one of those down there talking to Stuart. There was so much frustration. I honestly thought Stuart Friesen was going to announce he wasn't going to show up the very next Truck Series race. Well, he did, and I know he's thankful is for that because he showed up to Michigan several weeks later, put on the drive of his life, got himself a win, and locked into the playoffs. Broke a 72-race winless streak, and boy, you could just see in his emotion the weight lifted off his shoulders. Remember, this is a small team, Hallmark Friesen. Very few shop full-time employees. His crew chief, Jimmy Villanueva, is one of those that has just grinded through this transition with Stuart Friesen, and it started to pay off. And Stewie today, who started deep in the field because of the metric system, was really optimistic about his race truck, and it's now showing. Great pit stop on that end of stage 1 pit stop, and now he's picked up so much track position. So, boy, what a day, what a turnaround for the birthday boy, Stuart Friesen. But it's been building, really, since that Rockingham disappointment and that Michigan win to get to this point, and now they can have fun and focus on the playoffs here in a couple of weeks.
Stuart Friesen riding in the 9th position as we continue to work our way through stage 2.
DIYers, ever start a project thinking that this'll be quick, only for it to be anything but? We've all been there, and that's why you need Craftsman, DIYers' most trusted brand. Craftsman's V20 battery works across drills, saws, trimmers, mowers, and over 100 other products from the house to the backyard and beyond. No dead stops, no refuels, just grab, swap, and get it done. Because your project might fight back, but your tools shouldn't. Head to Craftsman.com to learn more. Craftsman, build on.
Go behind the scenes and into the garages of the sport's top teams and drivers on NASCAR Hot Pass.
You know, if you win, then your problems are likely solved.
There's going to be issues with track limits in the S's, right? Because they're just tight.
A normal occurrence is qualifying from 28th to 32nd. That's just something we're going to continue to keep on working on.
It's the latest information you want to know on NASCAR Hot Pass. Weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
Lane Riggs shows the way with Ty Majeski 2nd, Chandler Smith 3rd, Rajah Caruth is 4th. Tyler Ankrum completes the top 5 with 35 laps to go here in stage 2. From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Looking for motorsports podcasts you won't find anywhere else? Check out the Motor Racing Network's lineup of exclusive podcasts. MRN Classic Races, Junior's Journey, The Many Hats of Jack Roush, Richard Petty, Road to Royalty, 50 Years of MRN, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, and the Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Find these and more MRN exclusive podcasts on podcast providers and MRN.com.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Back with you in Brownsburg, Indiana. Lane Riggs continues to show the way here with 88 laps complete. 200 will make up the distance here tonight for the T-Sport 200, 137.2 miles. Well, here's a look at who is getting it done on the track right now, presented by Craftsman. Mid-project regret syndrome? Not on your watch. Power up your DIY game literally with the Craftsman V20 lineup. One battery system, 100-plus products, and a million reasons to build on. Learn more at craftsman.com.
Well, the layup in the getting it done category is race leader Lane Riggs. He's led 69 of the 89 laps today, but I also got to give a call also to Stuart Friesen. Started the back of the field with unapproved adjustments after practice before the race started. He's worked his way by passing trucks and good pit stop to the number 8 position. Stuart Friesen's also a driver, in my opinion, that's flat out getting it done.
I think you can absolutely make that case. As Lane Riggs continues to lead, and his advantage is 1.3 seconds over Ty Majeski. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is in Brownsburg, Indiana for the running of the T-Sport 200. Motor Racing Network, or NASCAR Racing Network, I should say, here to bring you live coverage. Glad to have you with us on a Friday night. I'm Kurt Becker. Alex Hayden stands to my left. Our pit road coverage tonight from Jason Toy and Chris Wilner. Tim Catalfamo covers the action out in the turns. Lane Riggs won the opening stage of the race. He's led for 72 laps here tonight. Corey Heim started from the pole. He led the other 20. We've been slowed by caution just one time for 9 laps. That was the caution that came out at the end of stage number 1. And again, Lane Riggs, the winner of that stage. Right now, it is Riggs who shows the way over Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, Rajah Caruth, with Tyler Ankrum completing the top 5.
The rest of the top 10 as we run are Corey Heim in the 6th spot. Corey Day is 7th. Stuart Friesen is 8th. Grant Enfinger 9th. And Connor Mozak rounds out the top 10. You know, when we're looking at some of the statistics in the history books, you find a very interesting statistic. You mentioned Lane Riggs has now led 74 laps. When he's led a minimum of 50 laps in a race, he's undefeated. And right now, Lane Riggs, if you believe in that kind of hoodoo, has got himself in a really good spot right now. But there's still a long, long way to go as we close in on the halfway point.
The race at Pocono this year, back around mid-June or so, when he went to victory lane, his season, it had been fine up to that point, but Alex, would you say it was fair that that was his breakout race for this year?
I would absolutely say so, because they put the race together from green flag to black and white checkered flag and every lap in between. The team was on point. He learned, and that's just part of it. Every single lap you turn in a NASCAR race vehicle, whether it's a truck or a car, whatever the case may be, it's experience. And he is a driver that is the sponge, as they say, and just simply soaks in every bit of information.
Tim Catalfamo, from your vantage point overlooking turns 3 and 4, where is Lane Riggs better than everybody else so far tonight?
I would have to wager a guess that he is better on the outside lane. That seems to be where Lane Riggs has been able to go and make a lot of time, in particular coming off of these corners and heading down these short straightaways. Now, as I say that, Lane Riggs just went to the bottom in turns 1 and 2 and is starting to close in on the slower truck of Jordan Anderson. That is another part of the racetrack that Lane Riggs has really been dominant and has been able to make a lot of time running that lane right on the bottom, which is difficult to do because when this racetrack continues to, as the race continues to go on, the tires begin to wear, and it's really difficult to put the power down when you're on the bottom side of the racetrack, almost where the flat part of the apron is. And we don't see a lot of drivers make a ton of time. Oh, trouble, turn 3. One truck slides the outside wall very hard. That is the Josh Rayoum machine. There was contact between him and Raja Caruth. Caruth got into the left side of Rayoum, and he slaps the wall hard in the middle of the corner.
This will put us under the caution flag for just the second time in today's race. However, the first for an incident on the racetrack.
Here's what you missed last week on Toyota Gazoo Racing. Bubba was totally... as he... around the pack, managing to... across the finish line to claim me in victory lane. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Working the caution flag for the second time tonight. Pit lane remains closed for the moment. From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey NASCAR fans, would you like to win a brand new vehicle? Enter to win a Black Widow Chevy Silverado from Fox Factory Vehicles and help kids in our local racing communities. Donate just $25 to the NASCAR Foundation for your chance to win. 4-phase winners will also win a VIP experience to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 in Daytona.
We're underway in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona.
Visit NASCARFoundation.org/2025 car giveaway to enter.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
The message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Back here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, pit lane is open. A handful of lead lap trucks elect to come in, led by Grant Enfinger, Connor Mozak, among others. We start with Jason Toy.
Grant Enfinger counts it down, 35 miles per hour, brings the yellow and black Chevy Silverado, hits the mark perfectly in pit stall number 2, takes a tear off the windshield. First can of Sunoco fuel goes in, 2 pumps of the jack on the right side, gets a Goodyear Racing Eagles there, swings around to the left side, chassis wrench slides in right behind the driver's head. They'll put the left side tires on for Grant Enfinger. He's going to try to conserve some tires, a little slow on the back end of it as he is down and away. Caden Honeycutt also in the pit road as they finally pull away down turn 1. How about in front of you, Chris?
Stuart Friesen came down with 18 laps to go in stage number 2. He mentioned his documented his run to the front. Really happy with the race truck, but wanted to bolt some fresh Goodyear tires on. They did. So too on the bubble in the points championship did Jake Garcia, and Raja Caruth opted to come down to the attention of his Spire Motorsports crew. Of course, has some right front damage on the contact there with Josh Rayoum, so they had some bare bond as well as they bolted on some fresh Goodyear rubber. So Raja's, who had a really good truck up until that point, is going to have his work cut out for him with a little right front damage. But Stuart Friesen, a really solid pit stop. We'll see if this call to pit early before the end of stage 2 pays off with those fresh tires, if they can march their way through the field.
Especially given the fact that the balance of the field has stayed on the racetrack. That includes the race leader Lane Riggs, also Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, Tyler Ankrum, Corey Heim, and several others staying on the racetrack during the time that you heard Jason and Chris describing those pit stops for those 4 or 5 drivers or so who did come down pit road.
The beneficiary of the free pass to get their lap back is Ross Chastain. If you recall, on their pit stop that they had back on lap number 66, left front wheel did not get securely tightened. It came off while on the pit lane, so they suffered a penalty there, lost a lap, and he's been able to get that back now.
So we continue to work under the caution. Again, only the second caution of the evening. This one brought out when Watch-Aong made contact with the outside wall over in turn number 3. The only other caution that we've had this evening was the one that was brought out at the conclusion of stage number 1. Alex, you're just getting started for the weekend. You, our colleague Jason Toy on pit road, also Chris Wildner on pit road, going to be heading across town to work at the big track, as they say, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I know you guys are looking forward to that.
Yeah, we really are, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of both Chris and Jason. It's a thrill of a lifetime to get to be a part of a broadcast over there on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network. It's going to be a combination. We have 3 networks that cover NASCAR racing here in our world. That's us. That's MRN/NASCAR Racing Network, the Performance Racing Network, PRN, and the IMS Radio Network. And representatives from all 3 are going to be calling the racing all weekend long, including the Brickyard 400 come Sunday. Jason Toy will be working the middle of pit lane at Indy. Chris Wilner will be up in turn number 4, and I'll be in my basket hanging underneath the second deck in turn number 1.
We look forward to hearing the call. Should be a fun weekend for sure. The NASCAR Xfinity Series tomorrow, and then, of course, the NASCAR Cup Series at the Brickyard 400 coming up on Sunday afternoon. And we get the honor of kicking off this NASCAR triple-header weekend right here tonight in Brownsburg, Indiana, just northwest of Indianapolis at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We mentioned the fact that earlier this evening the ARCA Menard Series went racing. I want to give a shout-out to Charles Krall, because Charles is someone, you know, he's one of those people, if you don't want to do your own homework, you just call Charles, and he'll have the answer.
And even if you do your own homework, something is going to slip through the cracks.
Absolutely.
And he is there to fill in every blank and every detail. We can't thank Charlie Krall enough for all he does for us and helping us out. And, of course, he's with the ARCA Menard Series in the communications department. But Charlie, a huge resource and a big fan. And you know what? A fun fact about Charlie Krall, he is an amazing artist. He paints racing pictures. It's phenomenal, and I can finger paint with the best of them, but he's a notch or 2 above that.
I was going to say, people that have that ability, that's beyond me. Because when you talk about finger painting, I can draw maybe a stick figure.
Yeah.
That's
people
about
with
it.
talent make me mad.
It's disgusting.
It is, but yeah, the Liuna 150 presented by Dutch Boy earlier today. Brent Cruz got the big win there in the ARCA Menard Series race here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Here comes the field now off turn number 4, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series for the T-Sport 200. It'll be just 14 laps to go to conclude stage number 2. Green flag is in the air. Lane Riggs, the race leader, to driver's right. And here comes Chandler Smith.
Chandler Smith driving it deep into turn number 1, trying to snatch the lead away from Lane Riggs. But Riggs, with the momentum on the outside lane, will take the lead out of turn number 2. Side by side for second into 3. Here's Ty Majeski fighting to the right shoulder of Chandler Smith.
Ty Majeski desperate to break back into the win column and lock himself into the playoffs. For the moment, he's going to have to watch the front row motorsports teammates go wheel to wheel.
And Chandler Smith is not done just yet with Lane Riggs. He got into his back bumper going down the front straightaway. Now here's Chandler Smith about a truck length behind the race leader as they charge their way into turn 3.
Ty Majeski looks to the outside. Corey Heim goes all the way to the top of turn number 4 and tries to squeeze up alongside of Majeski, but he ran out of racetrack. Heim has to change lanes from right to left. Now he goes to the inside.
Majeski slammed the door on Corey Heim coming out of turn number 4. Now here's Heim dialing up the low lane out of turn number 2. Heim will tuck in line and follow Majeski down the backstretch. Majeski holds 3rd. Heim is 4th. Stuart Friesen has cracked the top 5. He's in 5th.
Keep in mind, Stuart Friesen just bolted on 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Everybody else in front of him on the older rubber. Here's Friesen looking for the number 3 or 4 position, I should say.
Friesen now goes to the inside of Corey Heim in turn number 2. They're side by side for that spot. Further up, here's Ty Majeski going back after Chandler Smith. They are nose to tail fighting for that spot.
The 4 drivers that stopped moments ago on pit road that picked up the fresh tires, they all now are 11th or higher in the running order, and Stuart Friesen is flat out moving in turn 1.
Stuart Friesen now jumps to the outside of Ty Majeski. This is the race for third. Give the spot to Friesen off turn number 2. Friesen with a head of steam, headed down the backstretch, charges into turn 3. Chandler Smith throws the block. Friesen goes to the outside, racing for second.
Trying to get up there and potentially win the stage. We're 9 laps away from the conclusion of stage 2. Lane Riggs getting on with getting gone at the front of the field.
Lane Riggs is loving what he sees in his rearview mirror right now. They are 2 and 3 wide all the way through the top 10. Battle for second flares up out of turn number 2. Here is Stuart Friesen on those fresher tires to the inside of Chandler Smith.
Toyota with Stuart Friesen at the wheel. Chandler Smith in the Ford. Off turn 4, the fresh tires pay off. Stuart Friesen is now up to the second position, but he's got a long way to go to catch Lane Riggs.
Yeah, he's got some distance to make up on the race leader, Lane Riggs. So it's Friesen in second. Chandler Smith is third. Corey Heim has got his hands full right now. He has got Ben Rhodes, Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt, and Grant Enfinger all lined up at the back door.
Yeah, from 4th on back, they are side by side, and Grant Enfinger thought about 3 wide, thinks better of it. That's where Corey Heim leads that parade back to turn 2.
And Corey Heim just has been struggling all race long to get off the corners. He just cannot put the power down and get the speed down the straightaways that some of these other drivers have been able to do so far. Here's Ben Rhodes in his F-150 to the inside of Corey Heim.
Here is Rhodes now, works down to the bottom side of the racetrack and comes back up off 4. He will complete the pass on Corey Heim, move Ben Rhodes up to the 4th position.
Ben Rhodes now waving bye-bye to Corey Heim. Heim now has a challenge to his inside. That's Caden Honeycutt. Here's Honeycutt in his black and white Chevy. Pulls even with Corey Heim down the backstretch. They race door to door to turn 3.
5 laps to go in stage number 2. Lane Riggs still the race leader. His lead being, chopped away lap by Stuart Friesen. Not sure if he's got enough circuits remaining in the stage to get the job done.
You're absolutely right, Alex. I don't know if Friesen has enough time to race down Lane Riggs before the end of this stage, but he's certainly going to give it his best effort. Here is Stuart Friesen in turn 3, going up against the wall, whereas Lane Riggs is on the apron.
The advantage for Lane Riggs last time by was 1.5 seconds over Stuart Friesen. That drops by about a 10th, but it's still Riggs very much in control off turn 2.
Lane Riggs, again the race leader, out of turn number 2. Virtually clear racetrack in front of him. He does have the slower Norm Benning truck dead ahead.
Benning, the veteran from the state of Pennsylvania, knows he'll need to keep his truck out of the way of the leaders. He'll pull to the inside here in the front stretch as Lane Riggs and Stuart Friesen rapidly approach in turn 1.
As both those 2 drivers deal with Norm Benning, the battle for third is heating up. Ben Rhodes was just able to drive around Chandler Smith, so Rhodes is now holding down third. Smith back to 4th. Here comes Grant Enfinger trying to make his way through the field. He's on the back bumper of Chandler Smith.
He's in that 5th spot. Enfinger is. In the meantime, Lane Riggs flashes across start finish. 2 laps to go here in stage 2. He's back to turn 2.
And Stuart Friesen is cutting into the lead that Lane Riggs had. I just don't know if he's going to have enough time to run him down. Halfway down the backstretch into turn number 3, the lead for Lane Riggs is about 8 truck lengths.
I think Stuart Friesen's realized he's not going to be able to get the job done to win the stage, so now just simply save those tires. You're going to have to hang on to those for a little while longer. We begin the final lap of stage number 2.
Lane Riggs takes his baby blue Ford F-150 to the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 2. He looks ahead. He sees the slower truck of Jason Alexander. Alexander will drift high in turn 3 and allow Riggs to pass him down low.
And the pay window for stage points is open, this time off the corner. Lane Riggs, after winning stage 1, he also will win stage number 2 here this evening. It is Lane Riggs in front, followed across the line by Stuart Friesen. Then Ben Rhodes finishes the stage in 3rd. Grant Enfinger 4th. Chandler Smith 5th. Caden Honeycutt 6th. Ty Majeski 7th. Corey Heim 8th. Luke Fenhouse 9th. Connor Mozak will complete the stage in 10th.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid for allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Pit Road remains closed from Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Under the Saturday night lights at Richmond, there's no place to hide. Tight turns, tempers flaring, when the sun goes down and the sparks fly. Dreams of the playoffs live or die in prime time. 3 nights, 3 races, 1 shot at the best weekend of your summer. You better not miss it. NASCAR Weekend at Richmond Raceway, August 14th through the 16th. Get your tickets now at richmondraceway.com.
Hey NASCAR fans, would you like to win a brand new vehicle? Enter to win a Black Widow Chevy Silverado from Fox Factory Vehicles and help kids in our local racing communities. Donate just $25 to the NASCAR Foundation for your chance to win. 4-phase winners will also win a VIP experience to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 in Daytona.
We're underway in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona.
Visit NASCARFoundation.org/2025 car giveaway to enter.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park, where we work under the caution flag. Our third of the evening, this one coming out at the end of stage number 2. Pit road is still closed as the field works around the racetrack behind the pace truck. So as soon as pit road opens up, we expect to see a lot of takers. Alex, we talked about the fact that earlier we saw a few drivers take advantage under the last caution flag to come down the pit lane, only maybe 3 or 4. And here's the situation now. They are going to be on tires that are going to be about 18. It was great for them when they had the fresh tires. Now their tires are going to be about 18 to 20 laps older than everybody else who presumably will stop now.
Yeah, you're right about that. So they're going to have to make those last here, thinking that they're going to stay out when the pit lane finally opens up. So this effectively may create 2 different tire strategies. It's going to force a lot of ebbs and flows now in the final, 77 laps of this race. Now, they could throw a curveball, may come on to pit road right now.
Right.
Go ahead and put that last set of Goodyear tires on and hope we don't have any cautions.
There's the key, because you're right. They can do that. They've got track position now. They've come down, and you're right, because we heard Jason and Chris talk about the fact that they still have another set of stickers, even those drivers that have already stopped. But that's a pretty good gamble, because you've got to hope that, we've still got about 75 laps to go here, that the yellow flag won't come out again. Pit road is now open.
Yeah, the bright green Whelen Engineering lights have been illuminated as the sun continues to tickle some of the clouds. The cotton candy skies over central Indiana are dissipating. Right now, it's the lights that are illuminating all these bright paint schemes on these trucks as pit road is opened up. And as predicted, those who came to pit road back on lap 102 are going to stay on the track while others make their way in front of Chris Wilner.
And Alex, you mentioned the sky getting darker. That means this racetrack is changing. Chandler Smith said, I need more drive off. The teammate car of Lane Riggs is just so much better throughout the center and exit, so they're going to work hard with the chassis adjustment, change those 4 Goodyear Eagles, and fill it of Sunoco fuel. Also, Raja Garuth back in on his pit stop after the damage earlier. earlier. And Corey Day having a great day for the sprint car race. He also made a 4-tire change and air pressure adjustment. Jason Toy?
Well, no surprise here for Lane Riggs. He's very happy with his race truck. Said the only thing he needed was a little bit in the middle of the corner where he tightened up. He said the racetrack and their setup has worked out perfectly. Corey Hine comes in. 4-tire Sunoco fuel for him on this section of pit road. Ty Majeski also wins. Slight adjustment for him as he tries to make his way up towards the front.
Lane Riggs is the first one off of the pit lane. Ben Rhodes will come off the pit lane second, but again, a handful of trucks stayed on the track. We'll reset the running order in a moment.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, an exclusive podcast from the Motor Racing Network.
Ron Hornaday, green flag is in the air, and he will take the field quickly to turn one.
Relive the moments of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from its debut in 1995.
Checkered flag in the air, Skinner wins with the inaugural for the NASCAR Truck Series by Craftsman.
The legends of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Todd Bodine wins 4 in a row on super speedways.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, available on pod platforms and MRN.com.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
Back here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. We'll get the one-to-go signal this time by. It means there will be 72 laps remaining in the T-Sport 200, a race in which Lane Riggs has led 105 laps so far tonight. Corey Heim has led 20 laps, and Stuart Friesen 2 circuits.
Talked about the drivers at the top of the broadcast that are just above the cut line for the playoffs, and at this point would be in on points as things stand at this literal minute. Well, let's look what they've done with stage points earned so far this evening. Ty Majeski, he's the driver on the bubble coming in. He's picked up 13. Grant Enfinger has picked up 14 stage points. And Caden Honeycutt has picked up 5. On the other end, you've got Jake Garcia. He's the first driver out when we started this evening. He has not picked up any stage points here tonight. Same for Gio Ruggiero. And in fact, Jake Garcia, who was 38 points below the cut line, as things stand right now, he is actually 46 out.
He's got some work to do. A win will cure all of that. I mentioned a moment ago, a handful of drivers stayed on the racetrack and did not pit. The front 6, to be exact. That's Stuart Friesen, the race leader, Grant Enfinger, Luke Fenhaus, Connor Mozak, Jake Garcia, and Brendan Queen is in the 6th spot on a little bit older tires, 18-lap older tires to be exact.
Here they come now. The field's coming off turn number 4, about to get back underway here to start the final stage of the race. It'll leave us with 71 laps to go. Stuart Friesen, the race leader, he is to the outside lane. Grant Enfinger to the inside. Green flag in the air as they all go back to turn 1.
Side by side for the race lead in turn number 2. Grant Enfinger on the inside, trying to get around Stuart Friesen. He cannot. Friesen will power to the lead. Infinger goes to second. Fenhouse is third. Side by side for fourth. Mosak and Rhodes.
And Ben Rhodes will thread the needle right up the middle. He's going to go between the truck of Connor Mosak and his ThorSport teammate Luke Fenhouse. Ben Rhodes is a man on the mission.
What a mess over there in turns 3 and 4 the last time by. Ben Rhodes knifing his way up the middle. He got around Fenhouse. Now he's going after Infinger for the second spot. Rhodes into turn 3, jumps up to the high lane, blocking Corey Heim. Infinger sticks on the bottom.
Here they come, back across start finish with Stuart Friesen opening up by 3 to 4 truck lengths. But Ben Rhodes, he's making the outside lane work to his advantage as they stack him 3 wide for second.
Corey Heim going up the middle, trying to dispose of Ben Rhodes and Grant Infinger. Ben Rhodes holds down second for the moment in turn 3. Here's Corey Heim in third, charging to his left shoulder.
Good race as Corey Heim is now wanting a seat at the big table again after leading 20 laps earlier and essentially being a non-factor in stage 2. He's going after second.
And as Ben Rhodes and Corey Heim continue to battle for second, if they check their mirrors, Lane Riggs has now arrived on the scene. He is wheel to wheel with Grant Infinger for the 4th spot.
A different type of race here at Indianapolis Raceway Park for Corey Heim this evening. So often he will come, he will be strong in the opening stage, but by the end of the race will fade toward the tail end of the top 5 or the top 10. Not the case tonight. He was quiet early, Tim, but he's on the move.
He is indeed, and it looks like that race truck is much better than it was at the beginning part of the race. Again, we're talking about Corey Heim, who is going after Ben Rhodes for the 2nd spot. Lane Riggs wants to make it a 3-truck fight.
Lane Riggs not all that pleased not being at the front of the field where he's been the majority of the race. For the moment, he's going to have to be content with position number 4.
And right now, Lane Riggs is remaining comfortable just sitting back there in the 4th position, trying to bide his time and figure out where he wants to pass Corey Heim. In turn 3, Heim slams the door on Lane Riggs. They're fighting for 3rd, and they're nose to tail out of 4.
That's how they work back into the front straightaway, as it's Heim who still has the 3rd position. Riggs is right behind him, and they're lining up behind 2nd place Ben Rhodes.
Corey Heim now will dial up the low lane in turn number 2. Ben Rhodes, though, holds the top side of the racetrack and is too strong. At the front of the pack, though, Stuart Friesen now has increased his lead to about 5 truck lengths.
Trying to run away and hide and let them continue to fight over the 2nd position, in which Ben Rhodes maintains. Then you've got Corey Heim there in 3rd. This time, Heim will go to the bottom side of the racetrack.
Corey Heim stuck his nose to the inside of Ben Rhodes in turn 1. Now Corey Heim's got to play defense, because here is Lane Riggs right on his back tailgate. They enter turn number 3. Riggs jumps up to the outside, side by side with Corey Heim for 3rd.
Everybody has a set of sticker tires remaining in the pit box. Question is, will we have another caution in these final 63 laps? How hard do you push? How much do you save the equipment, save the tires? One thing's for sure, Tim, that battle for second's pretty intense.
And it's not going away right now. Ben Rhodes is looking at Corey Heim, and Lane Riggs continue to press him for that 2nd spot. All the while, Stuart Friesen, while he's got the lead, hasn't really been able to drive away from these 3.
But he's also on a little bit older tires than everybody else. He's certainly maintaining, but not really putting a big gap between himself and the rest of the field. He's making his 200th career Truck Series start tonight. Is Stuart Friesen the race leader? No driver has ever won in their 200th start in the Truck Series. However, the best is being Brendan Gaughan, finished 2nd in his 200th start. He did that at Charlotte all the way back in 2013. For more on Stuart Friesen, Chris Wilner.
Add in the fact he turns 42 today, Alex. He's got the birthday mojo going right now. Stuart Friesen loving the fact that Ben Rhodes, Corey Heim, and Lane Riggs are duking it out behind him, because the longer that battle goes and the longer those drivers push those tires, they're going to equal out to the fact that Stuart has those 18-lap older tires. So right now, Jimmy Villeneuve just telling his driver, continue your pace, don't need to push it, and things will start to equal out. So the strategy call may just in fact pay out as they continue to duke it out there in the top 5.
Yeah, that battle for 3rd remains a good one, because Lane Riggs and Corey Heim have been going at it. Riggs gets around Heim. Here's Heim off turn number 4. He's all the way down next to the yellow line. Now they go door to door off the end of the front straightaway and back into turn 1.
And these 2 continue to swap lanes each lap. Lane Riggs, one lap will be on the bottom of the racetrack. The next lap, he'll be upstairs. This time out of turn number 2, Lane Riggs will clear the machine of Corey Heim. Riggs goes to the bottom, now challenging Ben Rhodes for second.
Ben Rhodes desperate to get a win. He's on the outside of the playoff grid. He needs a win if he wants to race and try to win another championship. He's in trouble trying to hang on to second.
Lane Riggs ducks low in turn number 1, slides up in front of Ben Rhodes. He'll take the second spot away. Riggs to second, Ben Rhodes now to third. Corey Heim's been drop kicked to fourth.
So make a note of this, 58 laps to go. Lane Riggs has now worked his way up to the second position and sets his sights on race leader Stuart Friesen. It is Friesen, though, who continues to show the way as we still work in these final 57 circuits.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Hi, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
It's my responsibility as a driver to leave the sport in a better place than it was when I got here. And certainly sometimes it comes with controversial takes.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
They bang sideways at the line. Photo finish.
An in-depth breakdown to the latest NASCAR news and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Lane Riggs got around Stuart Friesen. Friesen came back to the inside. Riggs now goes back to the point as they head back to turn 1.
Stuart Friesen trying to fight back and regain the top spot, but Lane Riggs has already put 1 truck length, maybe making now 2 truck lengths between him and Stuart Friesen. In turn 3, Riggs again right on the apron, the flat part of the racetrack, whereas Friesen is up against the wall.
So after getting up to the second position, it just took 4 more laps for Lane Riggs to make the move and complete the pass. Stuart Friesen put up a good fight, but it is Lane Riggs who is once again showing the way. 53 laps to go from Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
Back with you at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Good news for Ty Majeski is the fact that he has turned the quickest lap on the racetrack each of the last 2 circuits. Bad news is he's still back in the 7th position, some 5.7 seconds behind race leader Lane Riggs, now just under 50 laps to go. Here's a look at who is getting it done out on the track right now, presented by Craftsman. Mid-project regret syndrome, not on your watch. Power up your DIY game, literally, with the Craftsman V20 lineup. 1 battery system, 100-plus products, and a million reasons to build on. Learn more at craftsman.com.
Getting it done right now, Lane Riggs. He's back at the top of the leaderboard. Now he's led 112 of the 151 laps that have been run tonight. Another driver that's getting it done is a driver that has only made 10 career starts coming into tonight. And that driver being scored in the number 5 spot is Corey Day. Corey Day, driving that machine for Spire Motorsports, has put together a very heady race. He's been very smart about the moves to make out there. The pit crew has gotten their job done, the 2 pit stops that they made. And right now, Corey Day, the young man, is in the, well, he just made a pass around Ben Rhodes. give the number 4 spot now to Corey Day. He's getting it done.
The driver out of Clovis, California, as he continues to work his way up into and through the top 5. Currently in that 4th position, about 2.5 seconds behind race leader Lane Riggs. Now on the racetrack, as far as Riggs and his advantage over Stuart Friesen, 0.6 of a second, and also a lap truck is sandwiched in between there. After Riggs completed the pass, Tim, he's so deceptively quick. One might have thought he was just going to open up from there and go on and head all the way to victory lane, but yet we do have some 46 laps to go.
You're absolutely right, Kurt. And right now, Stuart Friesen is keeping the leader, Lane Riggs, at arm's length. And you have to wonder, is it Riggs possibly not showing all that he has right now and trying to save those pressure tires? Trying to save those precious tires if we get a long green flag run to end this race, or if Stuart Friesen is starting to really pick up the pace and is starting to make Lane Riggs search around a little bit. It's difficult to tell, but Stuart Friesen definitely is there and filling up the rearview mirror in Toledo right now.
My best guess is that the tires of Lane Riggs have been equalized now as far as the wear goes with Stuart Friesen, who has 18 green flag laps more on his tires. Remember calling lap after lap, Kurt, with Lane Riggs trying to pick his way from the 5th spot all the way to the lead. He was really abusing those tires, diving to the bottom and sliding up the racetrack. He may be paying the price right now.
Is that a situation, do you think, that if you're Lane Riggs, maybe the strategy is, I'm going to get out of all this traffic, I want to be in control of my own destiny, and especially then if another caution comes out, you're at the front of the field?
I think so. I think it's a matter of you do what you have to do to get to the front of the field and then try to hang on from there. For more on the final, what do we have, 42 laps in this race. Let's get a sweep up and down the pit lane, starting with Jason Toy.
Well, you guys were talking about Lane Riggs, and yeah, he went hard through the field, but he didn't really slide the tires much, which he was happy with. He says there's so much grip on the racetrack right now from the rubber that has been put down, it has helped him get to the front and stay up there. Once he got there, knowing how quick Friesen is behind him, it's just maintaining. Maintain a little bit of position. Don't give up too much. Don't let him in too much. But to be able to maintain it, work through the lap traffic, and take care of those tires in the final 40-plus laps. Chris Wilner.
Jason Toy, you mentioned about maybe managing this run. Typically at a racetrack, we like to talk about managing as far as fuel, but all these teams should be good to go the entire stage number 3 distance. So while we're not concerned about fuel, what we are concerned about, and you alluded to it, was tires. And up and down, some of the top runners, including Corey Day, as well as Stuart Friesen, who's off strategy, it's to continue managing your rear tires, not letting it slip out from underneath you. And for Corey Day, who we just talked about doing yeoman's work as a sprint car race, he's used to having that car sideways. So right now, trying to keep the truck underneath him, he's doing a great job. And for Corey, poised in position for his best career finish after scoring a first top 5 not too many weeks ago.
Fact, right now Corey Day is working up alongside of Corey Heim. The battle for 3rd is on the backstretch.
Corey Heim has been getting a lot of pressure courtesy of Corey Day the last several laps. Day in his red, white, and blue Silverado looking to the inside of Heim, this time out of 4.
Corey Day with a big slide up off of turn 4 has to roll out of the throttle. It doesn't faze that 19-year-old. He's on the attack yet again.
I think Corey Day is a little bit faster right now than Corey Heim. The problem is he just can't find the pace to make the pass. In turn 3, both Heim and Day go to the bottom part of the racetrack.
That's how they run, coming off of turn number 4. Heim at the bottom of the racetrack, same for Day. Now Day swings up to the outside, and Heim is still down low, back to turn 1.
And both these drivers are trying to work around the slower truck of Frankie Muniz. Muniz will give way and allow Heim and Day to pass him. Now Heim and Day are wheel to wheel. Day to the inside. Corey Heim upstairs. They remain in that formation out of the corner.
Who's going to be the one that's going to make the aggressive move on exit of turn 4? It's Corey Day. Slides up across the bow of the red and white Toyota of Corey Heim.
Nice pass by Corey Day, but here is Corey Heim trying to fight back out of turn number 2. Day will complete the pass and pull away by about a half a truck length over Corey Heim. Now Day sets his sights on Stuart Friesen in 2nd.
Corey Day in that 3rd spot now, some 2.5 seconds behind the leader Lane Riggs. but only about 1.2 seconds or so behind Stuart Friesen, who rides in that second spot. All of that traffic working its way off turn 2.
We'll pick up the leader, Lane Riggs, who exits the corner. He just put Matt Mills a lap down. He also did the same to Spencer Boyd a lap ago.
Spencer Boyd keeps his truck out of the way as everybody else continues on here under the green flag. We've now run 36 consecutive laps. The longest green flag run of the race so far has been 61 laps. 18 trucks remain on the lead lap with 34 laps to go in the T-Sport 200 here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Race leader continues to be Lane Riggs. I'm impressed, Kurt Becker, with the drive Lane Riggs has done tonight. He's been able to pass trucks virtually anywhere he wants to.
Yeah, he's from the drop of the green flag. He was quiet for the first 20 laps or so, and then here he came. And Tim, it seems like no matter where he has needed to go on the racetrack, that truck has worked almost to perfection.
That is absolutely correct, Kurt. Lane Riggs can pretty much take his truck wherever he wants it to go. If he needs to make a pass on somebody, doesn't matter if it's on the bottom side of the racetrack, the middle, or the upper groove. The only thing that Lane Riggs has struggled with as of late is just the amount of lap traffic that he's had to deal with. He has had to pass several trucks in the last handful of laps, and for the moment, he's been able to deal with them very nicely, but as the race continues to wind down, we'll see how aggressively he's going to be able to be in this lap traffic, as he's going to have to deal with if he stays ready.
He has the luxury as the race leader, however, to be able to pick and choose his opportunities to pass some of these trucks that are already a lap or more down. Andres Perez de Lara is next up now for Lane Riggs. As a matter of fact, there are 4 trucks knotted together as Riggs now rapidly approaches that group up turn 4.
He will square up behind the Andres Perez de Lara truck. Perez goes down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Lane Riggs carefully starts to negotiate down to the inside also of the Greg Van Alst machine off turn 2.
Lane Riggs will pass Greg Van Alst. Now Riggs looks ahead Andres Perez de Lara. Riggs again takes his pickup to the bottom part of the racetrack on the apron where he has been the last several laps and pulls even with Perez.
As Andres Perez de Lara stays topside, Lane Riggs forced to go down to the bottom of the racetrack. This is enabling second place Stuart Friesen to try to chop a truck length or 2 off.
And Stuart Friesen definitely is there, but he just doesn't have the pace to stay on the back deck lid of Lane Riggs. He can keep the leader at arm's length, but he can't get any closer right now for the moment.
How soon does he need to change that situation? Well, soon. Just 28 laps to go.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You ready? Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just the pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Lane Riggs, the race leader, Corey Day back in third, and they have been bouncing back and forth lap by lap to see who can post the quicker lap time. Last time by, as lap 174 went on the board, it was Lane Riggs who was quickest on the racetrack. He is the race leader. Stuart Friesen still between them there in that second spot, so don't count him out. Then you've got Corey Day third. Corey Heim is in fourth. Grant Enfinger fifth. 25 laps to go. From Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action. More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget.
Welcome to NASCAR.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered, NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Chris Wilner. Join me each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We'll also talk with rising stars from your favorite short track. Once again, it's NASCAR Coast to Coast. And you can watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back with you in Indiana, where Lane Riggs, who won Stage 1 and won Stage 2, is also in front now with just 22 laps to go in the T-Sport 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. If this race stays green to conclusion, we will end up with our longest green flag run of the day. And if that happens, that's going to be bad news, I'm afraid, Alex, for everybody not named Lane Riggs.
You're right about that, because at the moment he has got not just a firm grip, he's got a double-handed grip right now on this race, being able to do exactly what he wants to do whenever he wants to do it, as he's just now put a lap on Brendan Queen. Butterbean has gone a lap down, back in the 17th spot. Jake Garcia coming into tonight needing a good run, needing a good finish to try to keep his playoff hopes alive. Well, Jake is the last truck now on the lead lap, back in 16th position.
So Lane Riggs shows the way with Stuart Friesen second, Corey Day up to third, Corey Heim fourth, Grant Enfinger fifth, Ty Majeski sixth, Chandler Smith in seventh, Daniel Hemrick eighth, Ben Rhodes in ninth, Rajah Caruth completing the top 10.
You know, we talked about the start of it with the playoff picture. Ty Majeski was 38 points to the good, the last truck in. Well, the way this race has gone, with the stage points for stage 1 and 2, the misfortune for Jake Garcia and Ben Rhodes, right now, Ty Majeski's lead has not quite doubled from what he was at the start of the race. He's now 61 points to the good. Problem is he's the last truck in. If somebody deeper in the running order comes up and picks up a win either tonight or over the next 2 weeks, then Ty Majeski's on the outside.
Speaking of which, this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has next week off, and then it heads to Watkins Glen International. Ty Majeski doesn't get a lot of credit for his road racing abilities, but you know, David Pepper has been with that ThorSport organization for several years, and at Lime Rock, prior to the race a few weeks ago, we saw David in the garage area and said, so what's the strategy for Ty today? Just try to get through the race in one piece. And David, he kind of looked at us and said, I think you need to go back and look. He's actually a very good road course racer, and ended up coming home with a strong finish that afternoon. 4 top 5s and 8 career road course truck series starts. So to your point, you're right about that. He is a driver that's proficient, turning left and right, changing gears every single lap. So Ty Majeski could very well be a threat. Bottom line is, yes, he wanted to come in tonight and win this race. He's mired back in the 6th spot right now. But at the very least, you got to find the positives in the run, and that's that you came in with a 38-point cushion over the cut line. As you sit at the moment with just 15 laps to go, you've built it to 61 points. And it seems like all three of the drivers who would be in on points as things currently stand, we're talking about Grant Enfinger and Caden Honeycutt and Ty Majeski, this is the trend that we've been seeing in recent weeks over the course of the summer from those three drivers. They've not been able to find victory lane, but the next best thing, keep piling on the points, and they've managed to do that.
You're right about that. And there's a driver in the form of Lane Riggs right now that has been piling it on all night long. Lane Riggs won stage number 1. He's won stage number 2. He's trying to sweep the night here in the T-Sport 200. If he's got to do it, he's got to remain at the front of the field for just 12 and a half more laps.
He is currently working at the midpoint of the back straightaway. He sets up for the entry back into corner number 3. This time he works down next to the yellow line, stays pinned right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Then he comes off turn number 4, puts another lap on the board. Now 188 laps complete, just 12 to go. He's closing in on some lap traffic in turn 2.
Riggs calmly exiting turn number 2 right now, pulling up behind the Greg Van Elst machine. He'll easily clear him into turn number 3 and put Greg Van Elst another lap down. Change for second a lap ago. Corey Day was able to move around Stuart Friesen on the outside lane.
He did, and put Stuart Friesen behind him to the tone of 5 truck lengths. Corey Day continues to be the fastest truck on the racetrack. With 11 laps to go, Corey Day now second, 2.5 seconds behind the race leader.
Corey Day's going to have to pedal that Chevrolet Silverado really hard to make up this gap that he's got to the race leader, Lane Riggs. They both exit turn 4.
Lane Riggs with the lead. Corey Day in that second spot, driving for Spire Motorsports, and Stuart Friesen in third, of course, driving for Halmar Friesen. Oddly enough, Lane Riggs has actually driven at one time or another for both of those teams that are right now trying to track him down as they head off the end of the backstretch.
Stuart Friesen right now in the third position, starting to lose touch with Corey Day. Day has been able to pull away from Friesen, but he's still got a mountain to make up on Lane Riggs.
About 3/4 of a 700-foot straightaway is the gap that Corey Day is going to need to be able to run down. With 9 to go, Tim, there is an awful lot of lap traffic dead ahead.
There is indeed. The machine of Jack Wood, Caden Honeycutt, Matt Mills, Tanner Gray, all dead ahead for the leader.
All of that traffic working back, tail end of the top 20, just outside the top 20. So the question is, how soon does Lane Riggs catch them? What does he do when he gets there? Because right now, Tim, at least 2 lanes of the racetrack are absolutely full by the time he gets off the end of the backstretch.
Right, and the problem that Lane Riggs is going to have with those drivers that I just mentioned, they're racing side by side, so they're not just going to pull over and let the leader pass them by easily.
He might have gotten away with one there because there's 6 trucks that gout each other in turn 2 at the back of the field. They're going to go 3 wide deeper in the field in turn 3, but they were bouncing off of each other and the wall. We nearly had ourselves a caution flag, which would have turned this race inside out. As we stand, everybody keeps them pointed in the right direction, and Lane Riggs continuing to be the race leader. There will be just 6 laps remaining. He flies by the start-finish line as he charges to turn 1.
Here's Lane Riggs off the throttle, coasting his truck through turns 1 and 2. Now he picks up the gas and powers up off the corner, looking ahead at Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt's black and white Chevy will go to the outside of the racetrack. Lane Riggs on the apron.
Lane Riggs will stay right there, pins the truck down to the yellow line as he comes off turn number 4, starts to draw alongside of Caden Honeycutt, going back to turn 1.
And right now, Lane Riggs has to be extremely careful because one little slip-up, especially in lap traffic, could cost him all the gap that he has been able to build over second-place driver Corey Day.
In fact, the advantage for Lane Riggs, 2.2 seconds over Corey Day, back in that second spot. Here comes Lane Riggs now. Flashes back across the line. This time by 4 laps to go. The leader's back to turn 1.
Racing in front of Lane Riggs are the machines of Frankie Muniz and Jack Wood. They go single file off turn number 2. Now here's Lane Riggs on approach, setting up for turn 3.
He's going to try to keep that truck ginger on the throttle, not abusing the tires. 3 laps to go as they make their way up off turn 4, back to the start-finish line. Frankie Muniz and that yellow and black Morgan & Morgan attorney truck stays topside. Riggs goes to the bottom.
Frankie Muniz will give the leader Lane Riggs the bottom part of the racetrack. Riggs says thank you very much and powers up off the corner and completes the pass on Muniz. Still holding a significant lead over Corey Day.
There'll be 2 laps to go this time for Lane Riggs, the race leader here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Comes back across start-finish. Keeps the truck headed under full power back to turn 1. Just continues to march through the lap traffic.
And now Lane Riggs has got 2 lap trucks between him and the Corey Day truck. Those are the machines of Frankie Muniz and Caden Honeycutt. Riggs can try to manage that gap this last lap and a half.
Lane Riggs will exit turn number 4. Rich Keeter puts the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Lane Riggs in heavy traffic in turn 1.
Lane Riggs has been showing off all night long, but he is in some heavy lap traffic here on this final time off of turn number 2. Riggs will pull to the inside of Tony Breitiger in turn 3, trying to get to the checkered flag.
He will have led all but 40 laps here this evening. Lane Riggs coming off turn number 4. It has been a tour de force. He wins the T-Sport 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It'll be Corey Day with a career-best runner-up finish. He comes across in second, Stuart Friesen third, Corey Heim fourth, Grant Enfinger in fifth as we go to pit road.
Dylan Capello, the crew chief, celebrating with his team as he talks to his driver, the team. High fives, hugs around here, picking up the win on the short track here. They're going to victory lane here at Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Bunch of happy people, one at Pocono Raceway, now a winner in the short track in the Hoosier State.
At the Glen, the thrill isn't just on the track. It's in the heart of every fan. This August, a full-throttle festival comes to upstate New York. Camp under the stars, then witness the brightest stars of NASCAR battle for a crucial playoff spot. This is racing. This is the best weekend of your summer. This is the Glen. NASCAR weekend at Watkins Glen, August 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at theglen.com.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the NASCAR Racing Network.
It's over here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Lane Riggs is celebrating his second win of the season. Corey Heim came home in the fourth position, Kurt Becker, but while he's not happy with finishing fourth, he's happy about something else.
He has clinched the regular season championship for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's great to always say you've been a champion no matter regular season, postseason, what have you. But here's the thing. That's worth about, 3 races worth of playoff points.
It is, and that's a big thing. You can put that in your hip pocket. At some point later this week, heck, maybe later tonight, they'll get this race behind them because they really weren't a big factor all night long to be able to say, okay, we got some really good positives coming out of this.
Let's check in here from other drivers in the top 5. Let's start by talking with Chris Wilder standing by.
Third place for Stuart Friesen. You started at the tail of this field. You guys went off strategy. You went 99 laps on a set of tires, and you held up for a top 5. How do you describe your day today?
Just a great team day. Proud of the HFR, Halmar, Mohawk team here. Needed a good top 5 to show what we're made of here and coming into the stretch. So it was good. We went off strategy. It looked like everybody was going to pit there, and then they all bailed out, and I'm like, dang, I don't know if I should have too. And then wanted to get that stage win, and lane was just really, really good. So with 5 to go in the second stage, I'm like, well, I'm not going to catch him. I better just lay off and save my stuff and roll. And it was It was still a good day, but yeah, the extra time on the tires really didn't help us.
Still a good day, and I would say, I know it's not a win, but for your 42nd birthday, this can't be too bad.
Yeah, stop reminding me about that, would you? No, just proud of our team, all our partners. It takes a lot to keep this deal going up and down the road, and all our product sponsors, and Chris and Al and everybody. Hi to Jess and Parker. At home, we'll see you guys at Weed Sport tomorrow.
Congrats on a great run. That's Stuart Friesen, a top 5 finish, comes home in the 3rd position, and Grant Enfinger did a yeoman's work as well after battling some handling issues. Grant comes home with another top 5, the 2022 winner. How would you describe your day? Long run in Stage 3. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Yeah, we've had some of those here. We were hoping for a caution, obviously. We had spotted a few of those guys 10 or 12 laps on our tires, but maybe went the wrong way on our first adjustment and went the right way on the second adjustment. I started coming out of the pits, lost us a few spots there. I think at our best we could have run second. Congratulations to those 34 guys. The 52 guys, they look good as well. But, yeah, just didn't quite have enough to challenge for the win. We made improvements from where we were, where we've been. We made improvements from where we were here last year, so proud of that.
Grant Enfinger comes home in the 5th position, and Corey Heim officially clinches the regular season championship. I know it's not a win, but what do you take away with the performance today and officially being the regular season champion?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I mean, just a testament to how good we've been throughout the year. I feel like this is the first race we probably haven't really had a shot at winning, and that certainly says something. So super proud of everyone at Truck on Garage, Safe Light and Toyota. So really overall good points today. Obviously locked us in the regular season deal, but yeah, I would be lying if I was not a little bit disappointed. I wanted to come here and run better than I have in the past, but we got some good tracks coming up, so I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations on the regular season championship for Corey Hine.
Solid drive there. Now let's go down to Victory Lane and hear from Lane Riggs with Jason Toy.
Yeah, just a little bit down from Victory Lane because he wanted to get out and celebrate with his crew. He gets a big old hug from his dad and Scott Riggs. Lane Riggs, for the 4th time in his career, is in Victory Lane. Congratulations. Talk about dominating. 160 laps led. You swept both stages. You got some valuable points. And you get to put another sticker on top of that A post there as you get ready to go towards the playoffs. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Man, what a night. That truck was just so amazing. And, you know, I wasn't really running the fastest line possible. I was just trying to manage my gaps. You know, if a late race caution come out, probably don't pit just to not get mired back in traffic, other people trying to flip you. And I was just trying to be smart. And I feel like I really, really executed every single part of it tonight. And my team did a great job. Pit crew did flawless. Every time coming out of my box, they were like, clear by a bunch, don't push it. And that's just a great feeling to hear and great confidence coming in the pits knowing that you're going to come out P1.
Well, you know, the big thing about it, you mentioned team. You guys on the pit road got the job done. But the communication that we were listening to between you and your spotter and your crew, once you got the lead, now it's time to conserve and hold on to those tires. How much difficulty was that with all that traffic?
Yeah, it was tough. There was a lot of people that had tires, like the 52 didn't have tires, and he was really running hard, kind of holding the guys up behind me. And